Good morning, and welcome to Gateway Arch National Park. So for the longest time, I thought that the arch crossed the Mississippi, but it turns out it just sits on the western side. Interesting. Uh-oh. I see some arch models. Starting to feel a lot like the Empire State Building all over again. And there's St. Louis. There's the stadium, the old courthouse. And if I look right over there, I want to say it's just concealed behind that third gray tower is the hotel that I stayed in. And looking out that way, the west, where I'm going next, out into the plains. And if you look over there, there's a building labeled Purina. Maybe I'll have some cat food for lunch. You can feel the arch swaying in the wind. It's eerie. And back down. And there she is from ground level. Ooh. Horizon leveling did not like looking straight up. Turns out there's a nice little field up here. This is the smallest national park in the United States. And it's lorded over by this thing. Big old halo ring up there in the sky. Apparently it cost $13 million in the 60s to erect this. Legend has it that McDonald's offered to foot the bill if they could put a second one next to it, but the US government said no. On the walk to and from the national park, I get to pass by this wonderful, scenic old courthouse. How cool is that? And here it is, the Federal Reserve Branch at St. Louis. I'm gonna take a selfie real quick. And now for a stop at Café de Blair. I'm told by 256 people on Google that this is the best place down here to get a cup of coffee. The folks from Google were right. Turns out that they serve affogato, which I typically only find in really fancy stores, and it's typically done really poorly. But yeah, that's essentially espresso over a couple scoops of ice cream. So they make their own ice cream, and they roast their own beans locally here in St. Louis. So it's locally made ice cream, locally made beans. Oh, it was pretty great. I might become the 257th Googler. Look at this. I am so glad I came down this way, because otherwise I totally would have missed this bull and bear fighting monument hanging out here on a random street corner. Oh, how cool is that? I feel like they need the Chicago Bull or a New York Bull, this guy, and then a big bear statue to hang out next to it. Do I touch it? Nah. Alright, well that was delicious. So, Pappy's is Memphis style, which I guess also translates to St. Louis. And it focuses on dry rub ribs, which were chef's kiss. It's sort of the St. Louis equivalent to Franklin's in Austin, where people stand in line for, you know, an hour or more in order to get the food. I got here just in the nick of time, right as they were opening, and as I left, there was a line out the door. So yeah, that was delicious. Also, the brisket, unlike Texas brisket, is really thin slabs, like lunch meat thin. Great flavor, but definitely not the, you know, disintegrate, like long, slow smoked version. The sauce is also a little spicier, so just some things for me to remember. Should I ever look for St. Louis style barbecue again? Now it's time for me to leave St. Louis and head west. But first, one final stop at a local culinary icon. Look at this monster. Regular size. Well, that was delicious, and as a Wisconsin guy, that's saying something, because ice cream was my breakfast, lunch, and dinner growing up. So now, we're off down Route 66, heading for 4 attractions before the end of the day today in Springfield, Missouri. Welcome to the Laumier Sculpture Park. Oh, it's Laumeier. Welcome to the Laumeier Sculpture Park. It's the back end of a cement mixer. And also art. It's kind of cool. Whoa. Looks like somebody gave Sauron eye drops. This looks like a huge egg. So visiting this park has taught me two things. One, I need to learn how to pronounce the word Laumeier. And two, I have no taste in art because I looked at the drinking fountain earlier and I thought it was a sculpture. So after all the sugar I've had in the past 24 hours, I've decided that rather than stopping at the fudge factory, I should probably go on a little bit of a hike. So I'm stopping at the Meramec Caverns, and we're gonna see if another cave might be a little better for the GoPro than the last one. I'm not gonna get my hopes up. Here we are. And it looks like I can get some fudge after all. There's a whole river down here. There is a fern growing in this light. The jungle root.
Little ones, there's some who are sitting around. There's one right there that was on top. And
look at this. They had to carve out these stalactites to make this cave, and there's already new little ones forming.
mainly due to topography. I noticed by healing area and after all, who knows what's up. Backline, actually, about a quarter mile in that direction. Any questions before we leave this room and head to the times I've noticed it's done that, I noticed the lights will flicker. Yeah.
World's third largest stalagmite. It just looks like a big lump.
Next one is called Christmas. May have done some cleaning up here. They clean the handrails and all that about every day. And sometimes, what people are wearing. Coming for one time and the wall was right here, had fractured, and the water come pouring out of this room. I agree with all of it, except for the timing. Managed this formation right back over here. These are body fluids. Those are made underwater. That is made above water. So, let's those people got here. Bars gone. Any questions before you leave this room and head to the theater room and get set down?
Is there any way to tell how old some of these formations are?
These, that was a little difficult, but yeah, no problem. Either way, they estimate between 70 to 78 million years old. Perhaps in...
Look at this. Iron boat. Reminds me of the cabin. Oh, look at these huge dinosaurs. Little Mac would have killed for these. So the caves were deep, very cool, and above all, extremely beautiful inside. Probably gonna skip the fudge factory just cause I managed to get some fudge while I was there. And instead move on to some things a little bit further down the road since it's getting late. It's already 4:30 and I have to be in Springfield at some time in the evening in order to work out. Look at that. It's the Rolla Stonehenge. This is a 1/2 scale replica of the final stage of Stonehenge on the Salisbury Plain in England. This one apparently was constructed by taking the way they built the old one and turning everything up to 11. For instance, they cut all of this rock using water jets at 15,000 psi rather than whatever amount would have been available to old stone cutters. So yeah, these ones are definitely in a little better shape than current Stonehenge is. Just imagine, you know, cruising by and seeing this sitting here. I wonder if it tells the time the same way. So reading the plaques, it actually does tell time the same way. It turns out that you can use the sun coming in at various times on this slab to track what time of year you are in. Look at that sunset. I'm here to see a replica of the Hubble Space Telescope, and I'm also getting a concert. For context, this is the town that Edwin Hubble comes from. So, of course, there's a giant model of his telescope. I can't get too close right now, though, because I don't want to accidentally record the band that's playing without asking, and they're playing right in front of it.
The wrong notes you're hearing are just me. All right, now we're gonna...
So that was Marshfield, home of Edwin Hubble. As you might be able to tell by the light through my window, it's starting to get late, so I need to get into Springfield. I got about 30 minutes to go, and then I'm gonna hit the hay. Got a nice early start tomorrow morning because I gotta make my way to Oklahoma City. So with that, good night.